We're going to focus on the iPod mini.
Are you ready?
This is a first-generation iPod mini released in 2004. It had been a couple of years since the original iPod came out in 2001, and then they improved it each year. So by 2004, Apple was ready to release a smaller, more affordable line of iPods. And it was also when they first offered the body of the iPod in a color other than white. I was 13 in 2004. I loved music and I did not have an iPod yet, and my parents surprised me with a pink mini for Christmas. I remember very well setting up iTunes on the desktop computer with my dad, inserting CD after CD into the disc tray to feed my new iTunes library, and then download those onto this thrilling new device. And looking back, one of the most interesting things about the iPod and the MP3 player era was that it was a unique bridge between fully physical media and the streaming era of today. I put out a video recently about getting a record player, and I realized that I didn't talk about my history at all with physical music media and how precious it was to me growing up. Basically everything other than vinyl, which is why vinyl's so interesting to me now. But starting on cassettes as a kid with my older sister's Sony Walkman, I recognize now that there's no physical sensation or sound today quite like pressing the button on a cassette player. That was a satisfying tactile experience. And then there was the guessing as to how long you need to fast forward or rewind to get where you wanted in the song, and the satisfaction when you got it just right. Then I remember switching over to the Sony Discman, which is for CDs, and it's funny to think about walking around with a big CD playing and sometimes skipping from the motion of walking around, or running if you're crazy. But the Discman was awesome. I mean, the switch over to be able to navigate from track to track was amazing. I remember the excitement I felt after inserting a CD into the Discman and it booting up, and then hearing track one of, for example, Cheer Up by Real Big Fish was one of my favorite albums at the time. As a kid who often sought refuge and my developing sense of identity in my taste in music, my CD collection grew super fast. I filled binders that I eagerly let friends rifle through. We burned CDs for each other with love. That's how I discovered a lot of music that I never would have otherwise. It was this deeply social and personal experience. So by the time Christmas 2004 rolled around and my dad helped me upload all those CDs into iTunes, I fell in love with this new process immediately. I had dabbled as a kid in torrenting MP3s on Kazaa and LimeWire, but now my teenage sense of pride reveled in this library built for my precious CDs. And the iPod mini was soon attached to my hip. In those pre-iPhone days, looking back, I had my entire music collection on me and no apps, no distractions. And so what we can now contextualize as a transitionary period between fully physical media and streaming was kind of this amazing sweet spot, especially to me as a teenager. We carried all our favorite music in our pockets and we owned it, and we were offline when we listened. When the iPhone took off and iTunes was integrated on it, I remember thinking it was cool and exciting that everything was there in one device. But I could not imagine the world of today where the internet bombards us constantly instead of us seeking it out. The last iPod model was officially discontinued in 2022, and even though it was many years before that when I stopped using mine, I would like to say that we lost a significant and symbolic invention. So rest in peace to the iPod and to that era in general. I want to read a comment that someone left that I liked about listening to music on physical media, and it was part of the inspiration for making this video. So it's from Joey Shumate, maybe 2564. So Joey says, I would like to offer some advice as an old school music lover. Number 1, turn off your phone. Number 2, get a pair of really good headphones. I highly recommend open back for full immersion into the music when your daughter is sleeping. You are now joining the last generations that actually touched the music they intend to listen to. You actually chose to actively listen, not just have noise in the background. You now do it with intent. Thank you to Joey for leaving such a great comment. I feel that it's really in line with what this channel is all about. So thank you again. So however you listen to music, enjoy it. I'm gonna go listen to these whale sounds. Take care of yourselves.